What's up, CHFFL? We are trying to figure out how cameras work, and we are live from State College, Pennsylvania. I'm here with Max Grandalis and Wes Day.
Hello.
We're representing the Anime Conference, our first week of interleague play. This is good stuff, good stuff. The Anime Conference, I think, averages about 30 more points per game. I haven't checked the math recently, but we'll see. Maybe Fortnite can do okay for themselves by winning a game.
Doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think
All
so.
right. I personally am 19 and 11 on the season, and we have Wes on the panel, but Max is the guest picker this week since Wes got to do it 2 weeks ago, and he has a game a week and I have a game of the week. So let's go right on into the predictions. First up, Grant, the Tilted Towers against my Girly Literature Club. Grant has Alfred Morris with Breda presumably out. I think he's doubtful right now. And I have Baker Mayfield subbing in for Matt Stafford because apparently everybody in this league has two quarterbacks all the time. All right, but I still think I'm going to win.
I noticed that too. I wasn't too happy about that.
No, it's a shame.
I'm really happy that what's his name, Parker, didn't make me throw Luck into that trade for Rodgers because it's kind of nice having Luck on the bench.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So, Max, you think I can take this?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Alex on this week just because Grant kind of threw it in for the year.
Yeah, when Alfred Morris was the only player I had to talk about on Grant's team, that made
he's at a sad state of affairs there.
Wes, you got thoughts on this one?
Who are we talking
Me and Grant.
about? Oh, you got it.
I got it.
Grant definitely threw the towel in a little bit early this year because he could have been, obviously in a playoff hunt with that really weak conference, but I don't blame him. Second round draft pick, like we said, we do snake draft. That could be a 13th overall pick.
Yeah.
And if you don't think you're going to win it,
about.
he could potentially have 3 picks in the top 15. Yep. Wild. So it's a good move by him, I guess. If
And
he didn't want to.
He can't blow them all, Theo.
I guess. Thank you for the donation. Cat, get down.
we got the kitty cat jumping up on the table. All right, next.
It's his house.
Got Parker, Snobby Shore Pistol Whips versus Roy and the Super Mario Star Power. Parker has Jameis Winston in while Drew Brees is on the bye. Roy only picked up 10 from OBJ on Thursday Night Football because everybody but Barkley on that team is terrible. I still think Roy's going to pull this one out. His lineup's more consistent all the way through. Parker still has some holes in it. Max, what do you think?
I think Parker's pretty weak at running back, so I think Roy's going to be able to eke this one out. It's going to be a really close one, but I think he's going to get it done.
All right, very nice. Wes, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Max. Weak at running back, but a thing to note about Parker, he just throw his ass off. He won't scratch. Fat bastard. It's not like we're doing it.
Hey, watch your language.
No, sorry. Hey, you fat B word. But like Max said, Parker little weak at running back right now, but don't sleep on Parker because I did trade Parker Le'Veon Bell, and if you can hold Bell to his word, which you can't, but we should be able to see him in the next 2 weeks here in fantasy. So he's going to get a huge boost at running back.
Well,
I doubt Bell's going to sit out the whole week because he needs to play to get that moolah next year.
Yeah, but I don't think Paul's going to do it this week.
All right. Next up, Salty Springs Spartan Swan against Mark's Your Thighs in April. And those thighs scored 44 points for him on Thursday. Saquon Barkley, absolute beast. Golden Tate on the bye for Swan. So I like Mark for those two reasons a lot. And Dalvin Cook could go for him the first time this week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and have to pick Mark on this one. I mean, maybe if before the Thursday night game and Barkley scoring 44 points, it may have been a little tougher decision. But I think Barkley 44, Swan's not gonna be able to come back from that.
No, and then he got Dalvin Cook. Was it a trade for AJ Green straight up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it because AJ Green was playing way better than most people thought he was going to at the beginning of the year. Can he hold that up? I don't know, but Mark was able to solidify a position that he needed help with. So if Dalvin Cook works out for him, maybe he won't be trading Barkley after all.
I thought that was a very good trade for both teams.
It was a trade that worked, for both teams.
All right.
Both teams got better
Well,
with
until
that trade.
Stan lost JHI.
Well, yeah. That changed things a bit.
A little bit.
All right, so Max's game of the week is Stan Nicano Chug Jugs against Brad and Soul Eater Leonard. I think that's a good choice. Stan spent 55 FAAB on Clement to sit him on the bench as he scored a touchdown and 17
Yeah, it's
points.
a little shocking.
But these are two very good teams. Brad's record does not give an accurate portrayal of how good his team is.
No, Brad's definitely playing in the stronger conference, as we can all see, and he's just been really unlucky losing to the top scorer of each week. So I think he's going to be able to, I think it's going to be a really close one. But Stan, Stan's team's pretty strong, so I think
Did
Stan's
you just
gonna end up
remind
winning.
him? He's like, hey, you can't talk too much on Brad. You picked Stan.
Well, it sounded like he was going to say that he thought Brad was going to win.
No.
I have Brad winning this one. I do think it's going to be really close. I think this was a good choice of game of the week. I think there are really 4 kind of easy picks and then
Yeah.
2 tough games.
I think it's going to be a lot closer
Yeah.
than we expect in a few of these matchups this week
And
because the other conference has 2 top teams that are pretty good,
Yep.
but
We have
we'll see what
4.
happens.
We have 4.
And we
right?
have 4 teams.
Yeah.
And then Brad can even be put into that. His team is so solid. Like, and we were just talking about this morning. Imagine if Brad didn't pick Leonard Fournette as his first pick, how much his team would just be like killing right now.
I mean, he already has more points than I think everybody but Stan in the Fortnite
Yeah.
conference.
Yeah, and like his points against is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I still think Brad will pull this one out as well. But like, if anybody in the Fortnite conference thinks they're going to get an easy game because they're playing a 1-win, 2-win team these next couple weeks, they're going to rude awakening.
All right. Let's continue on here. Wes's game. We got Minnie and the Risky Reels and Watson Thrills against Wes. It's a very strong team against a team.
He has a team, yeah.
I think Minnie's going to need 40 plus from Julio for this to be a close game.
Yeah, and that's just not going to happen.
Not to talk you up too much.
No,
over
you go
there,
ahead.
but,
Please do.
Minnie has done the kind of sell off. I think he's waiting to see if he can get a couple lucky weeks before he totally sells off on the season, but he's just not in the same league as you right now.
Yeah, I think he's knocking on the grave here
Yeah.
to finish out the year for himself. Pull a Grant here pretty soon, but so I'm gonna have to go with West too. I think
Yeah.
he's just too strong.
And we know that Julio really can't score touchdowns. He gets like
Yeah.
that 1 game or 2 games a year where he scores 50 points, and it's just like, this is the greatest wide receiver. And for some reason, they continue to throw him in this conversation of best wide receiver in the NFL because he has these monster weeks. But at the end of the day, the dude never scores touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's so much on him or the Falcons, but either way, it's concerning as a fantasy owner.
Yeah, and this is the thing too. Like with our trade with Parker, he was really big on Calvin Ridley, and he likes to say like, "Oh, I don't believe in number 2s." It's like, well, when your number 2's scoring more touchdowns than your number 1, how much do you not believe in him?
Yeah, exactly.
a
And
good point,
plenty
Wes.
of teams these days with how much throwing happens in the NFL can support 2 or 3
You've even
receivers.
noticed. Well, we can discuss that offline.
Okay.
It's not like Julio isn't a great wide receiver, but he demands double coverage. And when you have somebody with the talent that Calvin Ridley is and playing the slot, playing against a linebacker half the time, there's no reason he's going to score a touchdown every week.
All right, and finally, my game of the week is Marty and the Dusty Divot Dark Vikings against our guest picker and his Gordon Smash. I think these are 2 great representatives for each conference. Max and Wes are both atop the anime, Marty and Stan atop Fortnite. Looking at Brown and Elliott are Marty's 2 go-to guys, Antonio and Zeke versus Melvin Gordon and Adam Thielen. And Marty has a chance to give Fortnite some redemption, save them some face this week. I still like you, Max. I think your team's stronger the whole way through. You have Kareem Hunt and Jordan Howard are your 2nd and 3rd running backs. I think you're consistent, and I think you're going to pull it out.
Yeah, I believe that I'm just going to be a little more consistent than Marty, and you can't go against yourself when you're the guest picker on this wonderful podcast.
That's
So
true.
I got to go ahead
You
and
gotta-
pick myself.
You got to talk it up for the home crowd, right? Wes, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Max is he's going to pull this one out too. Marty did, like, I give him all the credit in the world because, like we said, the last time you were here 2 weeks ago, and Swan's won 2 games in a row, I think, too, so his team is coming back around. But Marty was able to do the same thing that Swan did last year and still put a good team around, and he's been super aggressive in the beginning of the year, trading a 2nd-round pick for Antonio Brown and just going for it. So Marty does have a really good team in a really weak conference. So if he's able to pick up a couple wins here against the Anime Conference, Marty's going to have himself in a really good position. That being said, I think Max has a really, really strong team. We've already mentioned the running backs, and for some reason, people sleep on Melvin Gordon like it's no one's business, and I had him the last 2 years, and he is just a points machine. He's matchup proof.
Yep.
He always just produces.
An integral part of that offense. That's what I don't think people don't quite understand.
Yeah, and like Eckler, like people think he's stealing touches on. Like Eckler is getting points because he himself is a decent player as well, but he's not stealing.
Well,
anything
I think a
from
lot
Melvin
of
Gordon.
that too, as well as Eckler doesn't have a lot of touches. What's happening with Eckler is he's getting
A lot of receptions.
well, that and he's making big plays.
Yeah. So he gets the
And-
ball and makes it worth it. But like, how sustainable is a player
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that? Melvin Gordon touches the ball, 20 times minimum a game, and with that kind of talent, he's going to put up points.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, that wraps it up for this week. I'd like to thank both of you guys for having me and being on the program. This video went a little long, but definitely worth it.
Well worth it. Yeah.
If you haven't yet, you should subscribe, and definitely hit that like button because I know this was a great video for everybody to watch.
Yeah, and make sure you hit that little bell. That way
Yeah,
you get some notifications.
Got to get the notifications.
Notification
You know
right
you
away.
want your phone telling you when Alex Engler posts a new post.
Bing.
All right, we'll see you next time. We are
Penn State.
nice.